touchdown last year at Kenan Stadium. Good block by Don Meredith on Carlos Pruitt.
1st and 10 at the 18 of NC State. Here's Henderson. Henderson behind a nice block, headed for the end zone. Touchdown, North Carolina. For the score. William Henderson strikes for the 2nd time today.
North Carolina felt like what they built upon from last year would carry over into this season. They got off to the impressive start, played a good first half against Florida State, saw it slip away in the second half last week at Chapel Hill. They had fits and sputters in the first half, but were
pretty well equally divided. Coach Mack Brown has added a lot of speed to the University of North Carolina football team, and that's been a big difference.
Oh, he got some, he didn't have a clue that was coming. He didn't have a clue.
The Gatorade bath that you'll take, because that signifies your team has done something significant.
Well, he deserves it.
Yep. It's, you know, both of these coaches and programs have recruited very well. They both have 8 starters in their starting lineup as North Carolina natives. Here are our BMW players of the game for North Carolina. Curtis Johnson, who started the second half with a 50-yard touchdown run, part of a big yardage day for him, and Liddell George. Of course, 8 receptions for 52 yards. He carried the ball some. He punted the ball some. He returned the ball some.
Steve, you talked about the good recruiting and the players. Maybe the best measurement of the recruiting, the number of ACC honor rolls and academic ACC players on both squads.
Jay Boaz with the kick. Liddell George back to get it. And he is brought down quickly by a host of Tar Heel tacklers led by Mike Morton, Bernardo Harris, and Michael Payne, and Rick Steinbacher on special teams. NC State comes out one more time. Terry Harvey is going to be out there. Bernardo Harris gets chief credit for the tackle. But we're in the final 30 seconds of this one. And North Carolina will end a losing streak of 5 games. And Mack Brown, Mack was funny. He said, you know, we must be making progress in this program, because now people are saying, when am I ever going to beat NC State? Of course, 2 years ago, they used to ask me, when am I ever going to beat anybody? He's kept his sense of humor through it all, and it's paying off. Here's Harvey going long. Harvey puts it up for grabs, and it's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Sean Boyd at the North Carolina 14-yard line. And Boyd plays to the Tar Heel faithful on the far sidelines as the clock stops at 17 seconds, and the North Carolina offense will come out once more. The second half started all North Carolina. First play from scrimmage, Curtis Johnson, 50 yards for a touchdown. NC State got the ball back and fumbled 2 plays later. North Carolina kicked the field goal on the next possession after a short punt, an exchange of punts, and then another fumble. North Carolina put back-to-back touchdowns on the board in an 18-point run in the third quarter to put this one out of reach. Perry hands off to McGregor, and we have a big hit put on by Greg Janamore.
Well, the linebacker just fired, Steve, on that play and caught the fullback. It's a wonder that wasn't a fumble.
In the meantime, that's the finish as the game ends and North Carolina stops the streak. A very important game for the North Carolina Tar Heels. 35-14 over NC State. Let's go down on the field where Mike Hogwood has Mack Brown.
Yeah, soaked with Gatorade, as you said, Steve. Well, you did it, finally.
Well, Mike, this football team did it. I didn't do it, and they played so hard, and we didn't do as many things as we needed to. Well, early in the game, we kicked too many field goals. We had the turnover down, but this team's got a lot of heart, and they kept coming back and fought hard, and I'm so proud of them. I think if we can continue, we've got a chance to be a good football team.
You told me at halftime we want to go out and have some fun. I really felt like these guys came out and had fun in the third quarter, and the big play of Curtis Johnson, the 50-yard run to get you going, that's a great way to start a half.
Well, it was, and we came off with a kickoff return in the second half, unlike Florida State last week where we got no momentum and had 2 turnovers to start the second half, and then we had 10 points in about 3 minutes span, and after that I felt like we pretty much controlled the game.
what does this do to your season now? You come off a tough loss from Florida State, and here you come and make another statement. It really shows something, I think, for this football team to bounce back with this kind of performance today.
Well, we think so, Mike, and we feel like we got a chance to have a great year. We got to stay, or we've got to get well in a few positions. With Mike Thomas being hurt, that hurts us at quarterback, obviously, and we're in a position with Greg DeLong getting hurt. But we've got to go back to work, and got El Paso coming in next week, and they'll be ready to play.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you, Mike.
Mack Brown, winning coach today in this big rivalry, and let's go back up to Steve.
North Carolina wins it 35-14 over NC State. Their record now is 4-1. They've nearly played half their season. The Wolfpack now at 2-1. And we'll be back with some final words here from Carter Finley in Raleigh after this word from your